Hi, Catherine.
Hi, Kathy. How are you?
How are you?
Good.
Okay. All right. Our petitioner is coming on now.
Mới nó có đỡ căng đó.
Okay. We're waiting for John. Christopher, can you hear us?
He's on mute.
Hi, Emily. Hi, Ann.
Hi.
One person by phone. Okay. I assume John should be joining us. He didn't tell me he wasn't coming. So here he comes.
I was going to say, I think he actually said, see you tonight in one of those emails earlier.
Yeah. He's coming on now. There he is. Hey, John, can we check your mic? Can you hear us?
I missed that. I heard it there now.
Thank you.
All right, we ready to begin?
We are.
Okay, so this is the Board of Appeals public hearing, February 17th, 2021. In accordance with Governor Baker's, sorry, I just ate and I have something in my tooth. In accordance with Governor Baker's 3/12/20 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, general law, General Law 30A, Section 18, and the Governor's March 23rd, 20 revised guidance on order by the Governor prohibiting assemblage of more than 10 people. This meeting will be conducted via remote participation. In-person attendance by members of the public is prohibited, and all effort will be made to permit public attendance of this meeting in the manner specified below via remote access by internet, telephone, and if available via public broadcast of the meeting by Malden Access Cable Television on public access television channels. Public access will also be provided by posting draft minutes and/or a transcript, recording, or record of the meeting on the City of Malden website at cityofmalden.org as soon as practicable after the meeting. Additional information and guidelines for the public can be found here. There's a link. The Board of Appeal will hold a public hearing Wednesday, February 17th, 2021 at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time via remote hearing on the following named petitions. But before we get to the petitions, we want to approve the minutes from the last meeting. Did everybody get a chance to read the minutes from the last meeting?
Yes, I did.
Anyone want to make a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting, January meeting.
Anyone second?
Second?
Right, motion by Sullivan, second by King to approve the minutes. So roll call that. All right, Kramer,
Yes.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Sherwin,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Bilgan?
Yes.
Thank you. All approved.
All right, great. So the first and only petition of tonight is 21-001, which is tabled from January 20th, 2021, by Christopher De Resende on behalf of Brian Duong for a variance of MCC 1216-010, Chapter 12 of the Revised Ordinances of 2020, as amended by the City of Malden, namely dwelling, single-family dimensional controls, rear setback for deck, as per plans RES 033612-2020 at the property known as and numbered 34 Pamela Circle, Malden, Mass., and also known by City Assessor's Parcel ID 016-013-368. So this was tabled from last time. They wanted to build a bigger deck. It was demoed without a permit. The original deck was demoed without a permit. And we went back and forth on it for a while. We said that we could allow them to rebuild the second egress. And I think they were supposed to come back with us to show that, just to show what was there before they demoed the deck. Christopher, can you hear me? He's on mute. I don't know if he knows.
I've asked him to unmute, but we have a phone number here. I'm going to allow the phone number.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Hi, so sorry, Christopher's currently on mute right now. I'm speaking on behalf of my dad, Brian. I believe he might be unmuted now. Can you hear me, Christopher?
Yes.
Oh,
yes, I just got unmuted. Sorry, I'm on the phone and I just learned how to unmute on the phone.
Gotcha.
Hi, my name is Christopher. We spoke in the last few meetings in regards to 34 Pamela Circle. I found proof of what was there before, and I sent to Catherine early this morning. Did you receive that? What I sent you? I'm sorry.
Yes, the pictures from I think it was Redfin or one of those websites that showed the deck the last time the property was sold.
Yes. And it was in two angles, from off the deck, looking at the deck, and as well on top of the deck, looking at the deck and the surroundings, with the neighbor surroundings and the privacy and the surroundings in general. So that's what it was there before. Like, okay. Our first intentions was to make it 3 feet larger, but we've come to a conclusion, as well as the homeowner, that you guys it's not possible. But at least we would like to build what was there before and what's in that picture.
Okay. Do any of the board members want to discuss this?
Nate, do you know when they, because I think on the city records, it's not on the property card, but when they measured the building last?
Oh, geez. I could.
Not if you can't find it.
There is a visit history. I just memorized the measurements. I don't have the card in front of me. But if
okay.
The front of the card is there, it does have a visit history that could clue you in. But I know that listing was from 2018 and the deck was there in 2018.
Okay. So Christopher, are you talking about putting the deck to the same size, which was what? About 17, what was the measurement?
8 by 17.
8 by 17?
Yes, if we can't do the 11 by 17, we would like to do the 8 by 17, please.
So what would you be asking us to do now?
So realistically, I would love, like the client would love if we could do the 3 feet larger and make it 11 feet by 17. But it's really up to you guys. If you guys are completely against it, we will go with the 8 by 17. I don't know if that was specific enough.
Is the 8 by 17, is that the picture from the Redfin estimate?
Yes. That's what was the deck originally.
And was it built? I think I see a larger one on here. Was there one built at one point larger than that?
I believe the picture on Redfin was the original deck, and that was the same deck kept throughout until 2018.
Yeah, if I recall that picture from Redfin looked like the deck had some wear on it, like it had been there a while.
Because those Redfin pictures were taken when the house was probably about 30 years old.
So I'm sorry.
That's probably the second iteration of the deck. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
I guess that's what I'm asking. Is that the only known deck that was on this building, or was there another size at some point?
Previous homeowners have not told me about any new changes to the deck, but as far as we know, that's the original deck from the house.
Okay.
I mean, for most of the picture, or the picture that they have standing on the deck, most of the houses do have a deck of some size off of the back. And when you're looking at the backyards, I think almost all of them do. I mean, the house was designed, it looked like, to have something there. But I mean, I didn't see anything that the city granted them any variance for a deck at any time. I don't know. I mean, because they still would have been encroaching on that setback probably when it was built.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like if I'm reading this right, it's a 20-foot setback. It looks like this deck probably was in violation of it if that was the regulation back then. How big is the backyard? Do you know offhand?
Christopher?
It says, are you asking for square footage or
I'm asking
dimensions?
The distance from the back of the home to that fence. How do you know?
20 and a half feet.
20 and a half feet. Okay.
Yes. So like, it didn't hit the 20 feet. Regardless, it would have to be the variance. But like, regardless of the decision, we're going to need a little platform for the second source of egress there. So if we can make it look pretty, so it matches all the neighborhoods, I think would be more ideal.
I know. I mean, I certainly can't speak for what everybody says, but I mean, I have to say that if you're going to request us for a variance to build anything larger than what we have on the city's records, which is just the assessor's records, it seems like, that shows a deck. I mean, I wouldn't be in favor of something like that. I mean, you may take that into consideration on what you're going to ask us to do for a variance, because it's going to require a variance no matter what, because they tore it down.
No, sounds good. Let's go with the one that with the original dimensions, and ask for a variance for the 8x17, please.
I'm sorry, I lost you for a little bit there. Nelson, did you get a chance to? I'm sorry, I missed everything that was just said. So when I lost my connection, you were asking if it was the original deck. Can anybody hear me?
Did you want me to expand on that, Nate?
Yeah.
Yeah, so our records show that the house wasn't built with a deck. It was built with basically a landing outside the door and a set of stairs. It was a second means of egress. So I think as John just mentioned, the only records that exist of a deck being on the house, other than the pictures from Redfin, would be the dimensions that you have on the assessor's record where it got measured up at some point. I don't know when, maybe you do. So whatever deck was placed there, or whatever number of iterations of decks were placed there, there's no records on file in our department for those decks being added on. So I can't vouch for the dimensions, and obviously that they would have had to get a variance at that time to put a deck onto the house anyways. So
that actually was a question that I had. I guess it's for Nelson and Nate. Is there any significance to that drawing on the second page of the property card that goes through? It looks like it shows a deck there. Is that just something one of the assessors drew up, or is there any real legal significance to that part of the record?
So I'm pulling it up on my phone this time, so I don't get disconnected again. So that would have been somebody from our office or somebody from Patriot Properties that just was out there and measured it. Not necessarily for a permit or for when it was built, but it could have just been a cyclical inspection where they remeasured the house and they measured what was there. So the assessor's office will measure things and value things regardless of whether or not they're legal. They're still taxed on what's there. But Nelson said that there's nothing in his records that show a permit was ever pulled for a deck. And Catherine, I don't even know how far back we can go, but any record of us ever issuing a variance for a larger deck? It would have shown up in the permits, right, Nelson?
we would generally have those records within our property jackets, unless you're talking about going, way back. But this house isn't old enough to go way back.
That old, no. 88 it was built.
Generally, when we go through our property records, we're looking at just about everything.
Okay.
That's not to say that records don't get lost or whatever, but that would mean we'd lost a permit application, a permit, and a variance.
Right. Okay.
There wasn't anything in the file on a variance for a deck.
Okay.
I think I just wanted to say I'll second what John said. I'm not here to approve something that's even more non-conforming, but if this house was purchased with a deck that could have been 10 years old, they're being taxed on it. I feel for the owner, and I would be inclined to evaluate the neighborhood in the way John did, that everyone has decks being that type of neighborhood. And I would support rebuilding what was there based on the assessor's card.
Do we know how long the 20-foot setback, rear setback requirement has been around?
I think John had some input on that. Was this when you were speaking of this development, how that builder maximized the setbacks in almost every lot?
Yes, yeah. He was very good at that. I mean, but again, if we can't show that there was a deck put there, and I'm trying to remember about when that setback was changed or came into being, but it was.
I would assume when they built it, it had a 20-foot setback if the house is 20 foot and 6 inches from the rear property line.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, because at one point they didn't count the stairs. If it was they could put that back stairs in, and it wouldn't have counted as invading the setback.
All right. Anybody else have any questions or comments? Anybody want to make a motion?
Well, I'm a little disappointed that the owners didn't come to speak to us about it, because I don't like the idea that they hired somebody who didn't get a permit to begin with. But it seems like the deck was there a long time, and they may have just assumed that it was legal. So anyway, the motion is, let's cut to that. The motion is that we grant them permission to build a deck to the dimensions on the assessor's record card, which was I think it's 8 by 17.
I'll second that.
Okay. All right, we'll call that then. On motion by John King, second by Catherine Bilgan, to grant to build the deck to the dimensions on the assessor's record card, 8 by 17. All right, Kramer,
Yes.
Sullivan,
No.
Sherwin,
No.
King,
Yes.
Bilgan.
Yes.
All right, so you need 4 to grant, so motion is not carried. So, how do you want me to read that in as motion is denied?
Denied. Yep.
Denied.
Okay.
Hi, I'm sorry. I just want to speak up. I'm not too sure what motions, like the definitions of what it means to be passed on or to be declined. But because it is declined, what should we do? Well, what will happen going forward?
So can you excuse me? I'm sorry. I didn't know to put the permit to tear down. But so next step, can you guys tell me what can I do? I can hire the lawyer or get something to working on. Because my dad's outside, I cannot put the 4 chair. My 4 people, my family. And I'm working hard all day. I'm working with Eurasia, all the body, in the body shop in Malden. And I get paid, I'm working high enough. The nighttime, I go home, 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock at night. I want to enjoy my family dinner outside on the deck, but I cannot fit 4 chairs. That's why I didn't know to build up. I got to build up the bigger, but I'm sorry, I didn't know for the permit. I didn't know, I just moved to the Malden. I live in North Reading, and then I moved back to Malden to near my body shop. So I don't know to pull permit. That's why I say, okay, you build the deck, and I called the contractor coming down to do it. I didn't know the permit, so I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, you can appeal this decision. You may want to talk to a lawyer about it, but you'll get a written decision in the mail. You certainly can appeal it if you choose to.
I think he's on mute again.
So I have a question. So is there a way we can table this for next meeting for next month, and we have a lawyer and revisit this instead of denying it? Because I know once it gets denied, there's a 2-year process, so we can't reapply. Because it's pretty upsetting because, like, regardless, we're going to have a platform there because of the second source of egress. And, man. I don't know. What I'm asking, can we table this for next meeting, and then we can lawyer up and have more information and present a better case next month?
No, I mean, I don't think so. I mean, it's been voted on, and that's done. I mean, you get an attorney, and after you get our decision, and then you can, I'm speaking out of turn here, I think, but I mean, he'll know the appeal process. I mean, it'll have to be appealed, but you have to wait for the decision first.
So it's been voted on, and you need to get the certificate in the mail saying that it was denied, and then you can apply, and then you can appeal. But I believe there is a 2-year waiting period.
Not for the appeal.
Oh, okay, not for the appeal.
He can appeal right away, but if he wanted to come back, he would have to. And the other thing is, you just can go tomorrow. You can go down to see the building department, and he'll give you I don't know how fast they do it, but I mean, you can get a permit to do at least the access out the back so that you can have a second egress. And you could still appeal it.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so Catherine, you said that so as far as next month, we don't have anything right now, but it sounds like it might change.
Nothing has come through completed yet.
Okay. Is there any point of having a tentative date in case something comes up, or just don't schedule it?
There's still a few days where someone could complete an application, at which time then it would be March 17th, which would be our next date.
St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh, well.
Okay. So we'll wait a couple of days or we'll just say the next meeting is at March 17th, if there is one.
Yes.
And I believe that concludes our meeting. Would somebody like to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. All right, motion to adjourn at 6:57. Kramer?
Yes.
Sullivan?
Yes.
Sherwin?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Bilgan?
Yes.
All right, I'm on the vote of 5-2-0. Motion is approved. The next meeting will be March 17th, if in fact any petitions do come through. and I will let you know as soon as possible.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you, Kathy.
Hey,
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
Yeah,
hey,
we're-
thank you, Kathy.